Well, the last time we saw Taylor Hall, he was leaving the ice in a lot of pain.
Yes, he had his first NHL fight 11 days ago, but it wasn't the fight that hurt him. It was the way that he fell afterwards, and it led to his high ankle sprain.
Looks like he was shaken up in that fight. I'm not sure what happened.
Hall suffered the sprain after dropping the mitts for the first time in his NHL career. The good news, he's got plenty of friends in Rexall's sickbay.
You don't like seeing that.
We got a full forward line and a full defense pair and a couple extra skaters, so you know, if we pull the goalie, we're good to go. But you know what, just Wits, Hammer, Chorns, Pex, they're good guys to hang out with.
You got a lot of company.
Yeah, and that sucks, and it sounds like we're gonna have a lot more.
As in Sean Horkoff and his ankle, plus Gilbert Brule and his noggin. As for Hall, he won't be flying around Rexall for months.
That's fine. I just got off crutches a couple days ago, and other than that, you know, I can walk pretty much without limping, but it's still not even close to being able to skate or anything like that.
Oilers have called up 20-year-old Finnish winger Teemu Hartikainen. Alex Giroux is headed back down to Oklahoma City. Lucky for them, they weren't on this recent charter flight when Ryan Jones pulled a little bit of a prank on Swede Linus Omark. It's the old dress the flight attendant in a clown mask and hide her in the luggage bin. Works every time, sort of. In the NHL, Lightning visiting the Leafs second period. Adam Hall centers for Matthias Ratola. He beats James Reimer 2-1 Bolts. Later in the period, 3-2 Lightning. Vinny Lecavalier finds the rebound. They would add 2 more to the total and finish off the Leafs 6-2. Wild in Vancouver tonight, first period, 1-0 Canucks. Daniel Sedin steps up on the PP and he doubles the lead. Canucks add to it when Ryan Kessel finds the opening. So goes the night for the Wild. Cal Clutterbuck with a bit of a mishit here. 4-2 is the final. One other game tonight, Chicago didn't let up on San Jose, finishing them off 6-3. And great news from Pittsburgh. Sidney Crosby finally back on skates 2 months after getting concussed. The NHL's most well-known player was on the ice at the same time that his name was a hot topic at the NHL general managers meetings.
It's progress, but it's not even, I mean, I'm nowhere close to where I need to be as far as in shape, or I'm not even going to talk about that. I mean, I just want to be able to get through that without getting a headache, let alone worry about where my, conditioning is at. I mean, that's a whole new level.
The meeting started today. The main topic of discussions, concussions. NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman introduced a new 5-step plan in hopes of limiting the number of brain injuries.
There is no magic bullet to dealing with this. I know it's an emotional, intense subject, particularly for our fans, but dealing with this issue is not something that you can just do whimsically.
The main step, players will now have to be checked by a doctor immediately after the hit before returning to the ice. And back in our city, it's what they call playoff hockey, something that we haven't seen very much of in the past few years, but thankfully the Oil Kings have made the postseason dance today. After way too much prodding, the coach admitted it may be best to face off against the Red Deer Rebels.
If you really want to look at it, throughout the season that we've played here, the 69 games, we have not matched up very well against bigger hockey clubs. We've done okay, but we haven't matched up great against them. So who's the biggest hockey club? Saskatoon. So we'd like to try and miss them the first round if we can. Medicine Hat and Red Deer are in our size range, and we've battled them pretty hard.
If the standings stay as they are, the Oil Kings will face Red Deer starting the 25th down the QE2. And Fort McMurray Oil Barons with a chance to advance with a win in Bonnyville tonight. 3-1 Oil Barons going into the third. Jordan Krankowski fires from the point. The Pontiacs strike first, but it's too late. Oil Barons win 3-2. They face Spruce Grove in the next round. The Edmonton Eskimos made a move today that will save them a few dollars. Gone is one of the most media-friendly players out there.
You actually prepare for the question that you ask us.
That was middle linebacker Maurice Lloyd turning the tables on CTV last season. Today, the 28-year-old who took about a $50,000 pay cut to stay here last season is looking for work, and he's not very surprised about it.
Last year, I performed decent. I still think I didn't perform well enough in my eyes, but when you second on the team in tackling and 7th in the league with missing a game and a half, my salary shouldn't have been an issue.
Mo says he can still be a starter in the CFL if someone gives him a chance. And best of luck to the Nate Oaks men's basketball squad when they invade Oshawa this week for Nationals. Coach Don Phillips and his number 2 ranked team trying to prove some experts wrong.
The ranking committee, or whoever it may be, probably never felt like we were serious enough. So I don't think that we've received a lot of respect, but that's okay. We don't play the game for respect.
More on the Ooks and their leading scorer named Kong tomorrow at 6. A last-inning, game-saving performance for the 2012 World Cup of Women's Baseball. We found out today that the federal government almost killed the event because they were only willing to provide $50,000 in support, a smaller amount than both the city and the province were handing out. But today, thanks to the work of MP Lori Hahn, more cash is coming, and the 8-team tournament will happen here in Edmonton.
They threw up, the roadblocks of, well, it's not an Olympic sport. Well, so what? We fund a lot of things that aren't Olympic sports. It doesn't have to be an Olympic sport to be good for Canada, good for a lot of reasons.
But don't forget, they laughed when we had the last one. A lot of people laughed. What, women's baseball? Well, they came out here and showed a quality of baseball that left everybody clapping.
The news was most welcome by 86-year-old Betty Dunn, a former pro player herself and a 2012 World Cup ambassador.
Disappointed because right now there's 500,000 women playing baseball in the world today. It gives the young girls some encouragement, I think, to keep going in the sports.
And finally, another superb version of CTV Super Plays. What a pair of moves from Riley Kaiser of the Sherwood Park Kings last night versus Leduc. And didn't the captain, Alexander Ovechkin, turn in one of the finest moments of the season versus our very own Oilers? Check it out right here.
Here's a steal by Ovechkin. Drops it down to Johansson. Ovechkin scores! Alexander Ovechkin on a beauty!
To that there. That's Fabregas. And it's Messi.
So my question is Cal Ripken Jr. streak definitely safe? Is there any way anybody... Oh, what a play by Swisher. He holds on and flops into the Yankee bullpen.
If they make some kind of an adjustment there.
Oh, big rebound for Dubinsky and a great sprawling save by Ellis.
And that's your sports.
All right, thank you. And stay with us. We'll be back right after this break.